Well, welcome to the Jet Fan Diary. And today we have a lot to talk about. The Jets pulled some blockbuster trades off today. I was a little bit like, what the hell is going on here? But let me tell you, let's start with, we'll break this down into pieces because we have so much to talk about. Today, Sauce Gardner is traded to the Indianapolis Colts for 2 first-round picks and a wide receiver, Azareye'h Mitchell, who was a second-round pick by Indy. So we basically get 2 firsts and a second that is Mitchell, wide receiver. The kid's got talent. Kid's a big kid. He's fast. He's young. He's got a decent pedigree. He just is. It's crowded with Josh Downs and Michael Pittman. You know, he's third fiddle over there. So they had some room to move him out. Supposedly, what I've heard was the Jets were not looking to move Sauce. Indy wanted him, so Indy kept inching up their offer from 1 first rounder and something to 2 first rounders to 2 first rounders and Mitchell, and finally Mougey was like, okay, there is too much value here for us to not take this trade. And I get it. Listen, Sauce just signed a 4-year, $120 million deal. He was the top paid corner in the entire NFL. But to me, he wasn't even the top 5 corner in the NFL this year. 2 years ago he was, but he's been playing. He's one of the top in the league in penalties. He hasn't forced any interceptions. He is one of the league leaders in pass breakups. So with that, great. But he's getting paid 4 years, $120 million, and you're not playing like you're one of the best corners in the league. So he became a little bit expendable with the Azareye'h Thomas really showing his 3rd-round draft pick this past year as a rookie. When he played for Sauce not being in, we were able to get some things done. Yeah, so exactly, Mikey P. Sauce can't tackle and he gets hurt. He's like a wuss out there. This is how he grabs. He'll like grab you, lower your shoulder, and lay into somebody. I'm not saying he's going to be a Darrell Revis out there, but you know, he arm tackles, and he is a liability when the running backs get into the next level. He's like, oh my God, they're coming. What do I do? And he's also now, defenses have figured him out with his grabbiness. And the offenses aren't afraid to throw at Sauce anymore. They were throwing all 7 games that we lost. They were throwing dimes at him, and you know, big first down conversion on Sauce's right there, trying to make a tackle. Too little, too late. So you know what? In the end, I like the fact that we got 2 firsts and Mitchell, because now we just added another young wide receiver to our wide receiver room, which is a disaster. So we got a little bit stronger in an area that we were atrocious at. We got 2 firsts coming in the door now. You got Azareye'h Thomas now filling in for Sauce's shoes. You got Stevens on the other side. You got Bromley, who we just signed. This kid's... So we don't have elites. Between Azareye'h Thomas, Bromley, and Stevens, I feel like we have some talent there now. So I'm okay with that. Then we got the other blockbuster trade with Quinnen Williams. So Quinnen Williams to the Cowboys for a 2026 second round pick and a 2027 first round pick, plus defensive tackle Mozzie Smith. So we get to we're not filling in for Q's hole at defensive tackle, but we got another body that can go in there. And that 2027 first round pick is going to be the better of the two picks that Dallas has, because they also got their one from Green Bay when they made that blockbuster trade. So we're going to get the better first round pick in 2027. We have this second round pick in 2026, which is going to be a high pick because Dallas sucks too. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. So we got a decent second round pick. We got a quality first round pick coming. We'll see what Mozzie Smith can do. It's another big body to put in there and help out. What else are we going to say about this? And Quinnen Williams, his 4-year, $96 million, $24 million a year. We get to move that contract off the book. So we've, between dumping Sauce for those two firsts and getting a first and a second for Q, we've taken a ton of salary off the books. So it gives a lot of flexibility. I'm trying to be positive about this. We literally just traded away our two best defensive pieces. And I'm trying to be positive, and these are the positives. So that fourth, so what else we got with the seventh? So I'm trying to think here. So now we have 3 firsts and a second coming to us between this coming draft and next year's draft. Then let's backstep a pick here now to Michael Carter the second, where we the other day just sent him to the Eagles for wide receiver John Mechie III, who was the 44th pick in the draft of 2022 by the Texans. So he was a second round pick himself. So we get a former second round pick, John Mechie, who had pedigree coming up. Unfortunately, he had a battle with cancer and he just never got back on track. But he has an opportunity now. So you got Mitchell that we just traded for today. You got John Mechie we traded for the other day. So all of a sudden now our wide receiver room, once Garrett Wilson now comes back, is not looking horrendous like it was 3 days ago. So John Mechie's going to get plenty of opportunities now to prove himself. And Mitchell's young. This kid's got some talent. I liked him. He was odd man out over in Indy between Alec Pierce and you got Josh Downs and you got Michael Pittman. They just didn't have room. He was the fourth guy on a 3-man rotation there. So between you got Tyler Warren there, and you got Taylor in the backfield. They got a lot of pieces. So Mitchell was expendable. It worked out for us. I've been on Mougey and I've been on Glenn all year about the way they've been coaching and the way they kind of came into this season with this 53-man roster not looking like it had depth at wide receiver and linebacker and safety. We have holes. So unfortunately, they didn't see it at the beginning of the season like we did. But better late than never, and they're addressing the problems that we all saw. So I wish they would have seen it last year as we were coming into the season, but they didn't. But now, okay. So that Michael Carter trade also, that took some salary off the books too. He's a nickel back that was getting paid a lot of money. So to be able to take that salary cap off the books and flip that into a pick and get John Mechie, there was a lot of good maneuvering happening there to give us more flexibility. So we dump Sauce, we dump Q, we dump Michael Carter, we bring in a lot of draft capital, a lot of salary flexibility right now. And then right before the 4 o'clock deadline, they sneak in another trade, nothing major, nothing earth-shattering. They do this Jazier Taylor to the Jets from the LA Chargers for a 2028 seventh rounder. So we basically gave them a seventh round nothing pick to just get us another depth piece at corner. Let's see what Aaron Glenn saw in this kid. I don't know anything about him. We will find out more next week when we get them tuned up and get them in the game. So those are the big trades. Some big pieces moved. The chessboard had a lot of action today, and again, those are the positives. So the negatives. The Jets are officially in a rebuild mode now. We were making it official. It's the neon lights are shining. White flag is waving. We're done. I look at it this way. This is Aaron Glenn and Mougey's way of building an excuse into their disastrous start to the season. Now they can say, well, we didn't have Q and we didn't have Sauce, so no, but we're 1-7 and you traded away our best defensive players. So you're not going to get off that easy on that front. Your coaching has been suspect. Now the coaching is going to be more important than ever, is to see what this guy can do coach-wise. MC3 was shit. I hear you, Mike. He actually 2 years ago was not bad. And a year ago he was good, but then he's had some injuries that he hasn't been able to get better from. And when you're paying a guy that much money to be a nickel, it didn't pay. So he was going to get cut loose anyway at the end of the year. So it just worked out. And yes, with Brees, we kept Brees. So I was happy we keep Brees because now we can try to build around him, Isaiah Davis, and hopefully Braylon Allen can come back healthy off that ugly-looking knee injury that he took. Again, I don't know why you had Braylon Allen doing special teams. That was just stupid. You know, that injury was just kind of, you don't put your giant-bodied running back in a situation like that. It was just, I know you these guys are getting paid to play, and you just do what you got to do. But that was unnecessary. That was a risk that did not need to be taken, and this is what happens. You know. But now you keep that core, that three-headed monster in the backfield between Isaiah, Allen, and Hall for next year. We need to get a quarterback. We got a lot of at-bats that we can maneuver around to see where. I don't think we need to go chase a quarterback in the draft. I think you got to draft. Let the draft come to you. And don't go trading all this draft capital to move up, because there's no Andrew Luck in this draft. There's a lot of guys that might be the guy. Let him fall to you, okay? So with that said, the Jets are officially in this rebuild mode that I just mentioned. I appreciate the draft capital that Mougey's been able to acquire. But now we need to prepare for probably at least a year to 2 years of rebuild. So what you see is what you get. Hopefully we can turn this thing around, but I don't think we can make this happen next year. I think this is a 2-year rebuild. So we're looking at 2027, 2028. So we got to strap our helmets on and prepare for impact. And hopefully we can hit on quarterback, which we just never seem to be able to do. And then you got these freaking Patriots out there. You go from Brady to now Drake May. These guys get fucking 10, 15 years of a franchise quarterback every time they get one. It's unfreaking believable. And we chase a quarterback every fucking year. We chase some fucking quarterbacks. And we're getting everybody's leftovers. We're always rummaging through the scrap heap for a quarterback. It's pathetic. So Mougey did get value to unload our best defensive players. We got some things to build around. I love our bookends at left tackle and right tackle. Tittman as a guard. Maybe now we keep him at guard. We let Elijah Vera Tucker go. He's just like built like glass, man. The guy just cannot stay healthy. He's got talent and he's a great guard, but like you're only as good if you can show up on Sundays, and this guy can never show up for the games. So I say we let him go sign somewhere else, and we use one of those picks to get a stud center. And then you got your left tackle, your right tackle, your center. You got Tittman on one side. Maybe Simpson stays. Maybe you get another left guard. But your front line is going to be well built. You got a great backfield. We need to hit on quarterback. If we don't hit on quarterback, all this is for shit. You need to hit on quarterback. It's how every team gets better, except us, because we always have poor coaching of the quarterback position. Look at Sam Darnold. I mean, the guy is like playing elite. For us, he was seeing ghosts. For the fucking Seattle Seahawks, he's like Tom Brady reincarnated, except a bigger frame, and the guy is just throwing dimes everywhere. So we need to figure out how to coach up a quarterback that's not going to be a bust, because that's going to set this franchise back another 5 to 10 years. All right? That's where I see. Yeah, Mendoza, I mean, everyone says he's the better guy out there right now, or the guy, but like, we don't know. We've been needing a franchise quarterback for 30 fucking years. I mean, we had a couple of guys in there, but like Chad Pennington did okay for us, but I'm just nervous, and my friends, all my heckling buddies tell me, we draft like, we don't draft like shit. We just draft quarterback like shit. And we don't draft quarterback like shit. It's when we hit on Sam Darnold, but we just didn't coach him, and we didn't have the team set up for him. And so I think that's what this regime needs to do. We have our tackles, we have a guard, we need a center, and I'd say we get another I'd say a wide receiver 2 to go with Garrett, and then you got Mitchell and potentially Mechie can prove something to be. They'd be nice 3. One of those guys could be a nice 3, and the other one could be the 4. So, but again, Mechie's on. I think this is a year that he could just prove it. So prove to us you could stay healthy, you could be another piece in that wide receiver room, and then we draft one wide receiver, and then we got to retool that secondary is with safeties. We need some safeties. Our safeties are not good at all. And now with the injury to Cisco, who, all right, Cisco's okay, but I mean, for the money we were paying him, I didn't love what we were getting out of Cisco. So, but he's out. So we need to get some safety bodies in there, and that's got to be part of this draft. So let's see what else we got here. Anyone else saying anything? Yep, let's let AG build his team. Do you think the trade that happened today were good? Yes, I do, Solo. I think under the circumstances of Indy, my understanding is Indy came to us and kept offering more and more and more for Sauce until finally, when you're going to get 2 1s and you're also going to get Adonai Mitchell, who was their 2nd round pick. That's just a lot of capital to say no to when, to be honest with you, Aaron Glenn probably was looking at Sauce and being like, he's not playing the way I want to see my corner that I'm paying the most money in the entire league at the position. He's not a Pat Surtain. Surtain is an elite corner. Surtain makes plays. Surtain makes tackles. Surtain intercepts the football. Sauce leads the league in penalties and is too grabby. He doesn't force turnovers. Yes, he can break up passes, but he wasn't changing games. He wasn't like forcing turnovers. So I'm okay with getting rid of Sauce. I loved him when we drafted him, and he played great as a rookie. I mean, defensive rookie of the year. Phenomenal. And then teams started figuring out him, and he was getting away with grabs early, and now the refs are watching him. And I guess they looked at some tape, and they see he's very grabby. So he's been getting flags all season long. They were throwing flags on him. Yep, Sauce Gardner was overrated. I agree. So, let Indy work with him. But you know what? The trade was great for us, but I also think the trade was great for Indy because Indy's looking at right now like they were not expecting Indiana Jones to like do this and run this offense the way he's running it. They're just pleasantly surprised that the team is really playing well, and they're like, wait, maybe we got a window here. So if we go out and we get this great cornerback and we can play with their other cornerback, they actually have a nice secondary now in place, so they can go compete with a Kansas City Chiefs or a Buffalo Bills team, because that's what they're looking at right now. They're like, we're going all in. They move their chips to the middle of the table. They're like 2 firsts and our previous second round pick. All right, let's see what they can do with that now. But yes, Solo, I agree. Sauce is definitely overrated, and again, he's good, but we paid him like he was going to be the number 1 cornerback in the NFL, and I don't even put him in the top 5. So, how do you think Q Williams performed when he was on the Jets? He's an elite defensive tackle, but his work ethic to me this last year, you know what's happened over the last few years? I think he's just worn out with this toxicity of the Jet losing mentality, and he's one of those guys, I think he just needs a fresh start somewhere else. And when Dallas stepped up and they wanted to put in a 1 and a 2, into that package, they also tossed in the Mazi Smith. So I just felt like Dallas had that draft capital. They were in a little bit of like, we lost our best player on defense now, and their defensive front was not doing great either. So now they add that piece to their front line, and they're looking at that as a year or 2 down the road. They're going to be really nice in their front line, which I agree. So it worked out for them, but I think Williams just had enough of this losing franchise of the Jets, and I don't blame him. So you can kind of see he wasn't giving it 100%, and even on those games when he was playing against a beat-up Dallas offensive line, he wasn't playing dominant against that Dallas offensive line. You could just see. So I'm okay. Yes, he is he's a top 5 defensive tackle, but we're in rebuild mode now. So Mougey and Glenn have now parlayed this disastrous start of theirs into we're going to rebuild, and now they've kind of parlayed this into they're getting probably a minimum of another year pass, regardless of how badly they do next year, and then possibly another year. So this disastrous 1-7 start has rolled them into a 3-year package. So I don't blame them. They They are now in preservation of their jobs, and they've locked it in. So they kind of have like a little 3-year guarantee, basically, that Woody's going to have no choice but to pay him up on. I mean, Glenn was going to get paid a ton of money anyway, whether we kept him or not. So now we have to embrace Aaron Glenn and let him coach these guys up that we have left. I am glad we didn't trade Brees, because now we can work out a deal. Hopefully he sees what we bring in around him now. We can always tag him. And if we tag Brees Hall, we can tag him and keep him, I believe, for about $11 million, maybe $11.4 million is where tagging a RB is going to be. And that's not terrible, considering all the cap relief that we just got by purging that Sauce contract, the Michael Carter contract, and the Q Williams contract. So you could tag Brees and play him year to year. I think the best idea is to cut a deal with him, give him 2 years with some guaranteed money, or a 3-year with 2 years guaranteed. Lock him in, because what do you get? What I heard was he had an offer that we had an offer for a 4th-round pick, and Mougey wanted to get a 3rd-round pick. Okay, so if we would have got a 3rd-round pick, we would have lost Brees. They only wanted to go down to a 4th. That's fine, but even if we pull the trigger for the 3rd, there's no guarantee you get a 3rd-round pick and you're going to upgrade off of Brees. So I'm fine with that. I'm also fine with that we kept Jermaine. You know, keeping JJ on the end, that's a nice piece to keep. So there was rumors he was going to go. So we got it. We still have our pass rushers. We're suspect at linebacker. Now our defensive front has got holes in it. So again, let's see what Steve Wilkes, our mastermind defensive coordinator, can muster up with this group. And again, I just want to see our Jet players come out and compete and not get steamrolled. I want to see effort, and I want to see them believe in what Aaron Glenn is trying to do. So then I can feel like I can get behind this. If we come out on Sunday and we see the Cleveland Browns steamroll us with Gabriel, who's no better than, he's like the 27th, 28th best quarterback in the league this year too. So with him, now I think we go back with Fields after his win. We had 2 weeks to coach up these guys. Now we got a little bit of time to get the new guys caught up on our playbook, and let's start fresh. And we all know this season's not counting. It's over. But let's see improvements in these pieces each week leading up to the end of the season. Then at least we can go into the draft with some level of confidence that Mougey and Glenn are going to use these draft pieces to build a team and fill the gaps that we all see. All right? What are your thoughts on Justin Fields this year? Justin Fields cannot make a read. So now Tanner needs to be able to create a playbook. We got to dumb it down for him. You can't have a sophisticated playbook for a guy who can't make reads. He can't process. His processing is like borderline, like special needs, okay? But I love him as a person, but when you just see him drop back, he doesn't know what to do. If that first read is not open, he's a deer in headlights. We can't do that. So you got to roll him out. You got to RPO him. You got to find that guy, Mason Taylor, on a quick out, give him the ball, let him pick up 4-6 yards, and then you go 2nd and 4, 2nd and 5. And now you can go play action again, or you can give the ball to Brees. There's different things you can do to get Justin Fields to play a game that will work. But dropping him straight back like we did against Denver was like Hello, are you a fucking idiot, Tanner? That's how I felt. I wanted to like shake him when he just kept dropping him back, 9 sacks, and then you just keep doing it, just keep dropping him back. It's like the stupid pills, you know? So Fields has a skill set. He is athletic. So we need to use that. He's got to be able to roll out and run and quick passes. Get him some confidence. Create opportunities where even it's just like a wheel route where Brees does a little wheel route and you throw him a screen and like open up a hole and let him go pick up 7-8 yards. And all Justin Fields did was a little dink and a dunk. Like just to get some rhythm going and get a little confidence. And then you could start working some slants, working some Garrett Wilson coming across. And then you can kind of play action and then throw across again. And like things that just where you saw Taylor, Tyrod Taylor, as soon as he came in. Again, Tyrod Taylor is a backup. He is not a starter anymore in this league. But when we made the transition after Justin came out and Tyrod came in, you could just see things were starting to happen again. But again, Justin Fields can do that if you give him the right plays to run. So let's see if Tanner can do that. He had 2 weeks to work up a plan against a good Cleveland defense. So their offense is nothing to brag about. So our Swiss cheese defense against their crappy offense, let's see how that goes. Our suspect offense against their good defense, we got to see how that goes. So, just one more question. What do you think about Lazard? Oh, I fucking can't stand Alan Lazard. Garrett Wilson throughout their careers I like Garrett Wilson. He is a building block for our franchise. He's done a great job. He's got good hands. He's not a perfect wide receiver, but he's a really, really good wide receiver. So I like him. Alan Lazard, I wish I would have saw on the tape. I wish Adam Schefter would have announced Alan Lazard was traded. But no, we're stuck with that schmuck. That was an A-Rod buddy pick that we had to go eat. You know, Joe Douglas has to go give him 4 years, $40 million, $10 million a year for that piece of shit. So, but I don't like him at all. You know, he's just always on the field doing stupid things. A stupid penalty here, missing a block here, just not doing a route right. Everything. Anytime you look on the field, if his name's called, it's not for a good reason. So that's how I feel about Lazard. I want him gone. And that's why we brought in Mechie, and that's why we brought in Mitchell. And these two younger guys that have high pedigree will have an opportunity to take snaps away from Lazard. And so Lazard can sit on the bench and watch where he belongs. And I did an episode a few weeks ago where I talked about I did not like the way Aaron Glenn released A-Rod. I'm not saying that I prefer A-Rod over Justin Fields or not, but I did not like the way Aaron Glenn flew in over to come in to have a meeting with Mougey and Woody and Aaron Glenn to discuss the future of the Jets and the future of the quarterback position. And Aaron Glenn just kind of dropped a bomb on him like, we're going in another direction. The second Aaron Glenn said that, he's like, wait, what? Yeah, we're going in another direction. We're not going with you at quarterback. And then basically kicked him out the front door. So I didn't think that, again, not that I love Aaron Rodgers, not that I think Aaron Rodgers is the greatest person in the world, but Aaron Rodgers won a ring. Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer. Aaron Rodgers had a pretty good season last year, even though the team didn't play well around him. He wasn't the problem last year. Things didn't work out the way I hoped with Aaron Rodgers, but I think we took a step down to go. As you can see with Aaron Rodgers at Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh is leading the division, and Aaron Rodgers is at the helm. So, they got a good defense, and they got one good wide receiver. So, to be honest with you, if we had A-Rod behind this O-line with this running game that we have with Garrett Wilson, I think we're in a better position, to be honest with you. So, A-Rod would have got us more W's, whereas Justin Fields literally cost us a bunch of those games by himself. Again, Tanner also dropping some forearms in there himself. It's like, come on. Tanner Angshaw did nothing to help Justin Fields for a month and a half of the season. And what part of this team needs work on them? I think we need new safeties. We need a quarterback, and we need another wide receiver too. That's what we need. We also need some linebackers. We need linebackers. We need guys that can stop the run. We can't stop the run, and now we need defensive tackles. Now that we got rid of Q, so there's a lot of things we need, but we also have a lot of draft capital. So one of the options we can do here to fill all these needs, we need a defensive tackle. We need some linebackers. We need some safeties. We need a wide receiver too, and we need a quarterback. With all those needs, what we can do is, with all this draft capital, see what's happening. If the quarterback falls to us at one of those top first rounders, great. If it doesn't, and we have a guy, maybe someone wants to step up and get somebody else, maybe we could just slide a few picks back, grab some more draft capital, and fill some more holes. You have options. I don't like the option of trading all this great draft capital to move up and get into a Mendoza reach. If Mendoza falls to us, great. But if he doesn't, I don't want to go that direction. With all the money we have, what can we get? The problem is, does people want to come to us? I saw some talks about trying to see about maybe bringing in one of the more veteran quarterbacks that we can go pace. But I don't think that's happening. The realistic thing that's going to happen is Mougey and Glenn are going to go take a shot and pick one of these quarterbacks. I don't know if they're going to reach for him or if it's going to fall to us. Again, the way now our defense, without Sauce and without Quinnen Williams at defensive tackle now, we're definitely not going to be stopping the run. Our secondary might be okay with AZ and Stevens and Bromley, but we might need to just do the best we can, lose these games, but play with some fucking dignity and get that top 1 or 2 pick, and then we can control the draft when you get that 1 pick or that 2 pick, and then you pick your guy, and then you just fill in the pieces around him. So, but realistically, I mean, Tennessee sucks, New Orleans sucks, Miami sucks, and we suck. So we got 4 teams that suck. Tennessee doesn't need a quarterback. So you got New Orleans, Miami might go quarterback with Tua, you never know. And we need a quarterback. Everybody else, I think they just kind of fall in line and see where the chips fall, and then they'll go from there. Or maybe someone gets aggressive and moves up. But like I said earlier, I don't see any quarterback in this draft that is like the guy you got to go get, unless Manning comes out from Texas. Maybe when he. But I don't know. I don't see him coming out. There's no talk about that. So that's kind of where we stand, guys. So I hope you liked my rant tonight. I tried to be positive. I'm taking all the positive I can out of this. I'm kind of just marinating in the process of realizing that we are in a minimum of toss away this year and we got to sort of toss away next year. So we got a year and a half of more of this mess, and then we'll see what we can do in 2 years with hopefully a quarterback that we can say is our franchise quarterback. So, all right, guys, that was my my Tuesday night rant. I'm Adam. This is the Jet Fan Diary, and let's see if this blockbuster trades that we pulled today can lift our spirits. All right, have a good one. We will talk about the Browns for Sunday's game coming soon. Appreciate all the feedback coming at me. I like the questions when I do my lives. Helps me move things along. We're all on the same page. We're all in this Jet Nation together, buddy. So hang in there, and let's see. Hope for some better days. Have a great night, everyone.